Yes, today is episode 8 of my Christmas crafting series. It's also a collaboration, Christmas crafting with friends, which I'll tell you a little more about later. First, let's see what I'm making today. When I saw the set of ornaments for sale at Ross, I was inspired by the colors of them. And I really liked that they were in a Christmas tree shape already. And so I scooped them up for $3.99. And my plan was to try to recreate this Christmas tree of ornaments onto a wooden board, which just so happened to be one at Ross as well for $3.99. I was lucky to come across this in the same store that I got my ornaments. You, of course, could get your ornaments at the Dollar Tree or Walmart, Dollar General. Ornaments are everywhere. And these wooden boards like this, maybe not have the hangers, but you can get them at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And also, Walmart is coming along with their wooden craft section. I wanted this board to be turned the other way, vertical, up and down. So if it's going to hang, it'll be vertically. So I had to remove these two hangers that were going to be in the wrong spot for me. Then I decided I wanted to do a crackle paint technique. So I'm going to add my base color, which will show through the crackles. And the only part of the board that I want crackled is the frame. So I'm doing a gray base coat that will be on the frame only, and I'm really only concerned with the top side. Then I ran my hair dryer over it for a little bit so that it could be completely dry before I go on to the next step. Then I mixed up my crackle glue mixture, which is just about half a teaspoon of water to maybe 3 teaspoons of glue. You want it to be a runnier than glue consistency, but not watery. You don't want watery at all. You still want it pretty much glue with just a touch of water in it. Then I painted my crackle mixture all over just the top part of that frame, covering the gray that I painted on before. Then let that set for about 5 minutes until the glue starts to set up and get tacky. You're looking for still a glue texture, but not hardened at all, just tacky. Then I went over the crackle mixture with my top coat, which is Rust-Oleum white chalk paint. I only used one coat, and I was heavy-handed with it because chalk paint tends to separate when you add heat to it, which I will do, and so that adds to the crackling. Then I used my hair dryer to dry that all up, and you can see that white chalk paint is separating on top of the glue mixture, and it's making a beautiful crackle. Then I painted the rest of the board with the Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint. And this time I painted the sides and the back too. Then it was time to assemble the tree. And since I already liked the way that these ornaments were already arranged inside this container, I wanted to keep the silver looking backing, the cardboard that's inside of this container, and I'm going to use that to recreate just the way these ornaments are. So I hot glued my tree to the frame. Now you can make your own tree backing by just using regular cardboard and covering it with aluminum foil if you like that silver look, but I also can picture it being really pretty with scrapbook paper too. Then I began arranging the ornaments onto the tree just like they were in the package, and I used hot glue to attach them. For hanging, I decided to use some pieces out of the picture hanging set that you get at the Dollar Tree. I screwed them to the top of the frame, and then I used some baker's twine that came from the Dollar Tree, which I thought was the perfect colors and matched these ornaments so well, and I used that to hang the picture with. The host for today's collaboration is Kiki from Kiki DIYs, and over on her YouTube channel, my goodness, all the cute stuff you'll find there. Plus, I really believe she is just the most fun person I have ever watched tell us how to make a craft on YouTube. Here is just a sampling of some of my favorite Christmas DIYs that she's done this year. There will be a link in my description for Kiki's channel and a link to the playlist so you can watch all these other crafty friends of mine. My next project is involving something that I picked up from the antique store. It's these little white children's ice skates. I have always wanted to make a winter decoration with ice skates, and these just called out to me. They were $15 at the antique store, and I had to have them. But you see, they did have quite a few scuffs on them and something purple on one of them. And so I decided I would try to clean them using this shoe eraser thing that I found at the Dollar Tree a long time ago. I've never used one of these before. It looks kind of like a magic eraser, so I was hoping it would work as well as a magic eraser. All you have to do is wet it with water, the instructions say, and you're supposed to scrub with the orange side of the sponge and then buff away any dirt with the white side of the sponge. Well, I used both sides of the sponge and it didn't look like it really was doing any cleaning at all to me. So then I got out my Dawn Power Wash and I sprayed them down and used that shoe eraser thing as my scrubber for the Dawn. If this was a pair of shoes that I was actually going to wear, I would have took the laces out and put them in the laundry and everything. But since it's just a decoration and I want them to look vintage and worn anyway, I wasn't all that concerned with everything coming clean, but I did want them wiped down. After they were wiped down and dried off, then I wanted to do something with the blades. and I wanted it to look like they had snow on them or ice from skating around. So I'm using some Epsom salts that's actually from the jar that's in my bathroom. I actually use these Epsom salts. They're Dr. Teal's, and they are wonderful smelling, but I'm going to sacrifice my Dr. Teal's by putting them on the ice skates, and I did that just by putting some white glue on the blades, and then I sprinkled the Epsom salts on top of the glue. I wanted some winter greenery inside of the skates, so I'm running low on my greenery. I opted for these little miniature trees from the Dollar Tree, and I thought they worked just fine in the top of these skates. I wanted there to be a nice big bow, so I'm using some burlap ribbon, and I just form it into the shape of a bow, and I'm going to use a zip tie from the Dollar Tree to hold it in place and secure it down. Then I folded the ends of the ribbon and cut the tails. And to hide the zip tie, I cut a little sliver of the burlap ribbon to go around the center, and this also serves another purpose. You're going to need some jute string or any kind of string that you can use to attach this bow to your ice skate, because I tried, hot glue will not stick to the leather on ice skate or whatever the ice skates are made out of. It just falls right off. So you need to somehow attach a string so you can tie it on, and so I'm using that center piece of burlap ribbon to run my jute string through and hot glue that center piece all in place. And because I think they make everything cuter, I added a pine cone to my jute string. And then you can take both pieces of your jute string and run it through the eyelet of the top eyelet of one of your skates. And then you can tie it on there, and that's how it attaches. Then you can put your trees in the top of the skate. Don't forget to tie your shoelaces. Then I used macrame cord to string them up, but you could absolutely use yarn or jute string, whatever you have on hand. And all I did was run it through the other eyelet on the other side of the skates and tied them together. And now I can mark this one off my list of crafts I always wanted to do. Look at this mug. It came from the Christmas tree shop. I don't need any more Christmas mugs. I don't need any more mugs, period, at all. My cabinet can't hold anymore. But I couldn't leave it behind because it was so stinking pretty. So I'm going to make a craft out of it. I'm going to try to make it a base for a little winter scene that's going to go on top of it. And so first I needed to stuff the inside of the mug with something, and I just used some newspaper. Next, I needed some snowy ground cover, so I'm using a microfiber mop pad from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut it down to where it overlaps the mug just a hair. Then I hot glued it all around the edges and some in the center too. Then to decorate the top, I'm using some of the white bottle brush trees from the Dollar Tree and a deer ornament that I think came from the Dollar General store. But I wasn't really tickled about the look this deer was giving me. It looked kind of angry. So I thought maybe I could fix that. I was hoping I could fix it. I grabbed my fine tip Sharpie pen and I tried to make the eyes a little fuller, and I drew in some lashes. Then I hot glued the trees and the deer to the top of the mug. And I feel like this was a perfect solution for being able to see this cute mug that I bought at the Christmas tree shop and not having to clutter up my mug cabinet. Next, I'm going to attempt to make a snow globe with one of the Dollar Tree snow globes. I'm sure you've seen this done a bazillion times, but I'm going to do my version of it because I hadn't done it before. The instructions say to sand off the bottom plug, whatever you're hot gluing, so the hot glue have something really good to adhere to, and try to sand the bottom part of whatever you're attaching for the same purpose. And all I'm doing is using a bottle brush tree from the Dollar Tree because that was the simplest thing I could find to experiment with these snow globes. I used fine white glitter in my snow globe and some of the Dollar Tree sparkly faux snow in the snow globe, and baby oil because it said you could use baby oil or water, and I thought maybe baby oil might make the glitter swirl better, so that was what I decided to try. And I also had heard to put E6000 around the edge of the plug to make sure that it is secured nice and tight so you get no leaks. And this is what I got, a snow globe that was cloudy, and there was clumps of the faux snow and clumps of glitter, and you just couldn't even see the tree inside. So I took it all apart, washed it out, and filled it up with tap water. And it wasn't quite as cloudy, but I still had all this clumping snow stuck in an air bubble at the top. I just wasn't happy with it. So I took it apart again, and I thought, okay, I'll just scoop out some of that faux snow. Maybe that's the trouble. Just stay away from the Dollar Tree faux snow in the snow globe and just use glitter. So this was my next attempt. And I wanted it to have a really pretty base. So I'm using the lid off of a candle from Bath & Body Works. And I just hot glued the snow globe to the lid. Next, I'm going to add some more decoration in the form of these snowflakes that are on the snowflake lights from the Dollar Tree. And you can just pop those little crystal snowflakes right off of those light bulbs and then hot glue them all around the base of the snow globe. But honestly, if you have super glue, that would work better for a longer hold because the hot glue isn't sticking the best to the metal. So use some E6000 super glue, something with a better hold. And in all honesty, I even went back and did it all over again using bottled water because I still had such cloudiness. And this is my final result. I tried and tried, and I just could not get a crystal clear snow globe, but I think it turned out cute anyway. I had bought these floral picks from the Dollar Tree because I thought they would go really good with my vintage Christmas decorations, but I never did find a good spot for them or good use for them. So now I'm going to try to integrate them into these DIYs today, but they're a little too sparkly, they're a little too teal, so I'm going to tone those down using some Santa snow. And the results were spectacular. I wish I had more of these sparkly ferns to spray more Santa snow on because it's just beautiful. I put them in this hobnail glass to dry overnight, and that's when it struck me how stinking cute that glass was with these snowy glittery ferns. So then I decided it was going to be a floral arrangement right there in that little glass. I decorated it with a wooden ornament from either the Dollar Tree or Dollar General. It was $1 wherever it was from, and some of that farmhouse ribbon from the Dollar Tree. And it's just a simple Christmassy wintry arrangement, and I love it. And here's a final look at all the DIYs today. Thanks for stopping by and watching my video today. I hope you enjoyed all these DIYs and you got some inspiration. Don't forget to check out the link in my description box below to see all my crafty friends videos today. Until next time, bye.